Okay. Well, let's. Sorry, I'm trying to like. Today's topic is going to be how do husbands look? That's a weird. It is a very weird ass thing to say, but hear me out because I think if you stick with me for a minute, you might actually understand why am I making a video about that. It might seem like a really dumb topic, but it isn't. There's a point. There's a point. So like I guess I was thinking a lot about Arts Magnet and kind of Amber Chamberlain in a little bit and Amanda Mariana, I think that's her name. And she was basically she was kind of describing like how different her childhood was from Emma Chamberlain's. And when I think about my own childhood, it reminds me a lot of Emma Chamberlain's, at least in terms of like culture. She was talking about like the freedom she had growing up in these safe spaces. Actually, it was called the Third Spaces. So maybe I'll title this video like Third Spaces and Fathers. So Brett Cooper also made a video about this where she was like, once the fathers leave, she was like, once the fathers leave, this is where it all goes to shit. And then I shared a couple other videos that were giving these like typical tropes in the black community of like women who are, um, like the black rap female rapper poverty escapers. There's those women. There's the urban rap girlfriends. There's all of these tropes, right? And then I had to think about myself too because I feel like I keep coming across men who are not actually fathers, and they, especially black men, what I feel like I've seen a lot of them do is try to speak for everybody. Like one person will have an experience possibly, and I'm saying this because like I think a lot of people are discounting how men lie. For some reason there's some idea or some like expectation that these men are telling the truth, and I just kind of wonder why y'all believe them. Like, be serious. There's not like a whole bunch of women on planet earth who have like nothing better to do than to like all day occupy themselves with these men who like don't have anything. Especially in the black community, we're not dealing with like a population of men who have a bunch of resources, all these opportunities, like all these desirable things for women to chase. Any women, black women or other, like men have to bring something to the table. Like, and I thought it was very strange today. I saw Trevor Jackson post it was just like a photo with like a girl. I'm not sure if this is a girl he's dating or something. I'm not sure, but she's like a black looking girl. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting because like we notoriously know that like black men kind of hate black women. So like to see him post some girl who seemed like black was like weird. It was weird to watch, but whatever. I don't. But this, it's nor here or there. Um, and I was a little bit confused because I felt like how am I saying this? I want this to make sense, but I feel like it might not be making sense, and I'm kind of frustrated about that, but whatever. Um my point was that the men are like fighting for the women, and a lot of men continue to have these like conversations, kind of like this Sukiana conversation where a whole bunch of men seem to be gossiping amongst each other about how they have had access to Sukiana or in some way that they haven't. And I've seen men do this also. Like if you live in a small community or whatever and you've had more than like two boyfriends, all of a sudden there's this idea where men are just all gossiping amongst each other, thinking that every woman is extremely accessible, because they're not just doing it to like one woman, they're doing it to like all the women. But here's the reality, like it's like women are like credit cards, like there's like credit limits, you can't have everything. And also like women would have to be like getting stuff from these men, and like they don't have, most of them, especially in the Black community, don't have anything to give. So these stories don't make sense. These men are talking about things that they did not give, things that they did not do for prizes that they do not have. And women who don't even exist. Like, all I can say is, like, it seems like it's a bunch of lies. Like, men are like talking about let's say if they go on a someone, or maybe they won't even do that. Like, sorry, that definitely went out. I'll fix it. I hope I can fix it. Sorry, my oh, there we go. It came back. Okay. No, so men are like saying as soon as they like kind of have like access to someone, they're pretending like they're way past first base or second base. They're at like all the bases now. Like, oh yeah, well, we everyone has had sex with that woman. Like, well, no, that's probably not the case. Like, it might be the case that like some woman had a rotation of like maybe 4 or 5 guys, which, I mean, some people might think that that's like a lot of guys, but not to be funny or anything, that's actually not that many men. Like 4 guys, especially in a world where we kind of like literally know what OnlyFans is, and OnlyFans girls are sleeping with like 100 men a day or something. It's just like having a rotation in a year of like 4 or 5 guys is not. I don't even know, bro. Like, I think that like Black men specifically need to come back to reality and realize, first of all, like, women are the prize, if that's not clear, but whatever. Like, and they are competing for the women, because like a lot of women are leaving them. Not all, but a lot. And they like, I haven't heard that many, but I've heard more and more rappers, since I feel like Drake started making fun of it, and it actually started with Rihanna and Jay-Z making fun of it, where they were talking about like, you have a table full of fellas. Ew. Was that Kanye West song with Rihanna and Jay-Z where they're like, run this town? And they were making fun of like having a whole bunch of men in any space is not desirable for anyone. That is not an optimal situation ever for anyone, not even the men, unless they're like gay men. Like, the thing is, like, women just need certain things to survive. Like, women need laundry, women need food, women need like sanitary napkins and things like that. Like, things like hygiene and things like really food specifically, I know that's like the bare minimum, but like female people have to have those things just because like biology dictates that they do. So if you don't have those things, you won't survive. It's not really the same for men. Men don't have to technically have like any of that stuff, and they'll still kind of manage, they'll find a way. And so some men are out here promoting this idea of like, we're all equal. Everything is equal. And they believe because they have like women who don't know their worth behaving in particular ways or giving them access in certain ways, that A, they will forever have that access, and then B, that woman's value is diminished in some way because he had access to her. And that just isn't really the case. I mean, it kind of is in terms of like self-worth maybe, and like we can do things, we can talk about things like reputation or whatever. But today, let's go back for a second to this idea of like fathers, because like the men in society, this is one thing I'm starting to like see it in real time. Men in society, and I'm talking about all men of all races who are fathers, who want to be fathers, they behave in particular ways. And the reason that they do that is because like they need to make sure that the society is functioning in a way that will allow their children to survive, because they don't live alone. So that means that they have to show a certain amount of like respect, and they have to like acknowledge and abide by certain like community standards. Otherwise, it jeopardizes their own family's safety, and that is really important. That is the thing that separates like fathers from years, right? Um, because like, so I just kind of, I feel like I've been watching it for like, actually probably ever since I was a small child, where like, in the black community, you'll see large swaths of just youth really growing up in fatherless homes, but it's just not even fatherless homes, it's fatherless communities. But let's like even take away all of that and realize that right now, if you personally did not grow up with a father, or your father is a piece of shit in real life, given the things that he's actively doing, you can first of all separate yourself from your father. There's many ways to do that, but basically just move out and like literally go build a life for yourself. After you've done that, find father figures. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I really believe that like right now the Daily Wire men, or even like I think Bill Maher and his, or John Oliver, like any of those like political commentators, those late night guys who like are coming on and are talking about things. All of those, most of those men are fathers, except for Bill Maher, who like chose not to be. Tucker Carlson is another one, right? Maybe not the red pill bros, but like go listen to like Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, all of them, they have like whole ass shows that are like so many episodes where they cover so many things happening in society. And I feel like there's so many, especially like young women in the black community, who are trying to find like role models and all these different things. Um and like they don't, if only they were to fucking like go listen to those men, they would be, you'd be doing so much better, bro. Like you'd be doing so much better. So much better. Real shit. Real shit. Yeah. It's crazy, right?